Good day time, my Fuzzyites, and welcome to a quick review of Goosebumps Dead of Night. A really solid game that's way too short for what it is. And just needs to be longer. Like, I recommend, if you've watched me or whatever, like, I recommend, playing the game yourself. This to me is like a $5 game. $5, maybe $10 game. Or free. But it has some really cool things in it that makes me want to see outside of this in a bigger adventure for Goosebumps. But either way, we're going to take it back and go into the story of said game. The story kind of just throws you into it. Errol Stein reads a note saying, me and the typewriter are one 3 times, making him fuse with the typewriter, while Slappy releases all sorts of monsters, and you appear in Errol Stein's house and must get Slappy. And the whole game is just you trying to track down, and in the end, you stop Slappy, and then that's it. Errol Stein doesn't actually turn back or anything like that. It's really weird. It just ends. But overall, for the story, there's something here. It adds some cool details, going through the house to get the pages, to get Slappy in his book, going through Dr. Brewer's garden area in order to cure yourself of becoming a plant that Slappy, I guess, sprays you with. And then at the Nikola Pin Needle Tower Ray thing, trying to get to the top to stop Slappy. And getting the book and then getting to the top to stop Slappy. And whatnot. So it's a fine story. Again, a lot of this just seems like a demo to me, rather than a full game, which is sad. But it is a good demo. The story is intriguing enough. The way they use the monsters in it is intriguing enough. And speaking of which, let's talk about the characters. Besides the stand-in for you, who is just you, named Twist, who don't really talk or anything like that, you have R.L. Stein, writer, who is the typewriter and R.L. Stein together, who is helping you, guiding you through as you risk your life to do it. You have Slappy, who's a little prankster, who jokes around and just doesn't want to get in the book and has his own plans to take over the world. Besides that, there's Nikola Tesla, who you meet in Tesla Tower, and he helps you in the tower to figure out what to do and what not to go further to get Slappy. But not much else other than that. There's other characters, like there's the Graveyard Ghoul, who just walks around, is very slow. And whatnot. And others that are more mechanic-wise, which I'll talk during the mechanical portion. But for main characters that actually do anything, like, no, just you, who's silent. Errol Stein, who more or less just guides you through his house. Slappy, who doesn't want to be put in the book and has his own plans. And, like I said, Nikola Tesla statue thing, who needs you to stop the Edison-aligned Slappy, he thinks, to not steal his inventions. So again, it's interesting. Oh, there's Dr. Brewer as well, who wants you to make a concoction in order to cure yourself from becoming a plant, and his daughter Margaret, who does not believe it is really him. And so there's that kind of interesting back and forth. Like, there are some interesting characters here that do driving the story forward, but they're neat. They're good enough to keep going, which, again, makes me want to see more. Besides that, you have the areas. And at first, you're at R.L. Stein's house, which is just basically a normal house with locked doors. You find keys. There are pictures on the wall of various different covers of Goosebumps books that he's done, which is interesting. Gives a little flair, and you can see, like, it doesn't have the text of, like, Goosebumps and the name of the book where it's from, but you get to see some cool illustrations from the past. There's the garden of Dr. Brewer's garden, which is pretty cool. You walk around different areas. More of an open area, a cluttered area, a beekeeping, fly trap keeping area. And then I guess where he's held up, where he's doing research, I don't know. And then you have the Nikola Tesla Tower with a lot of electricity stuff, a lot of mechanical things around and whatnot. And it all serves the purpose of being areas you go through. They are different from each other. They look nice. I like how they're set up. It's a little more in favor of the game than anything else, but still works just fine. And that leads us into the gameplay of the game, which is pretty simple. You move around, look around. You have a run, and you can duck or hide inside areas to get away from the monsters. Later on, you get a mechanic where you can grab and move only certain things. Only of the plant, now that I think about it. So that goes away. And you collect different things as well. And at the end, you get a Tesla gun, which electrifies enemies and can stop them for a bit. But it takes a little bit to charge. Oh no, you do move stuff in the second area. That's how you move the other thing. So yeah, in all, with the mechanics, they're good. They evolve, so you keep learning new things a little bit. So everything still feels fresh going through, and well worth it. All that leading up to and ending the game on whatever. But where the mechanics really thrive is with the monsters you're facing. Like I said, there's the Graveyard Ghoul, which she just walks around the upper floor of Stein's house. She's very slow, but, she can hear you if you do stuff. There's Slappy, who will run across your path, and then will appear in the area, but as soon as you go into cover, he dissipates, so not much of a threat there. There's Lawn Gnomes, who the yellow ones will turn off lights, and just regularly be a menace. And blue ones that can steal your pages that you've already collected, and also have some items. There are red ones in the basement, which can attack you and cause you to game over. There's the Murder the Clown, who only appears when the lights are off, so you have to be careful and keep lights on. As well as you can only hide from him in small places, otherwise he appears beside you in larger areas, which is a cool detail. Those are like the main ones. There's the werewolf that's more like the Graveyard Ghoul, but a little bit faster and whatnot. But either way, a lot of the mechanics serve it. There are a lot of good enemies and good things to do, collecting, moving forward. Nothing feels too stale. It's always very quick when you're in an area. It's a very, very quick game, which I want more out of it, but And for Legacy, although I haven't really played a lot of that, it is somewhat tied to the ending of Goosebumps 2, the movie that came out at this time of recording a few years ago, many years ago maybe, where it all ended in a Tesla tower. It ends here in a Tesla tower, but you see a lot of the classic Goosebumps villains, monsters, and whatnot, and you try and survive. So it's fun. I think they could do a really good job implementing more. But overall, the game is really, really fun. Just really short, and the loads take way too long. But in the end, it's a really good game, a really good proof of concept to make something bigger, and hopefully they do. Heck, like I've been saying, if you make Goosebumps and you see this, I would love to write for a Goosebumps game of a bigger scale. But who knows what'll happen. Either way, I recommend playing this game, just not spending more than $5 or $10 on it. But thank you, my fuzzies, for watching. I'm going to end this here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next anytime. Take care.